Welcome back to another episode of Industry Champions. I'm Steve Strum. Today I have an opportunity to spend some time with a young lady named Cyrena Denniston from Blackfire Ministries. Thank you so much for joining us, my dear. I know we had a lot of opportunity to talk offset. For the folks that are watching this, what is Blackfire Ministries and what is it that you're doing for our community?
Absolutely. So Blackfire Ministries is the wonderful missions organization that I lead. And the heart behind it is we desire to ignite, equip, and release the next generation of diverse mission catalysts within the African diaspora for global gospel transformation. And our term catalyst means a young man or young woman that's between the ages of 18 to 35 that have said, God, whatever you've placed in my hands, I am going to use that to be a kingdom change agent, to bring your hope, to bring your peace in a way that people can relate to understand the love of Jesus. And the great thing about it is we launched February 2nd, 2024, and we now have 36 catalysts from 11 different nations throughout the continent of Africa, here in the United States, and we're continuing to expand. And the beautiful thing about it is we are living out, breaking the stereotype of what people may think of the African diaspora. Because when they hear that word, number one, they're like, what does that mean? It simply means the dispersion of African people across the globe. And actually, when we look at how the African diaspora was created, we are the whitest white to the darkest dark, the beautiful different spectrum of color. The actual first catalyst of Blackfire Ministries is a young woman named Janelle, and she is white South African. And then we have people from Ghana, from Guinea, Uganda, here in the United States, those that are biracial. It's just such a beautiful way for us to display and help people get out of the stereotype, because then they ask, well, why the name Blackfire Ministries? It comes from Matthew chapter 5. Verses 13 through 16, where we are called as followers of Jesus to be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. I did research on that, and I actually found that when you expose a low sodium, like it's a low concentrated sodium, to a heat lamp, it burns a black fire, not because the fire has lost its intensity, but because it's absorbed so much of that, but then it still burns. And that's who we are as followers of Jesus. We take in the love of Jesus, and wherever we go, we reflect his glory. We will burn with that intensity so that others may know his love. And so that is what I have the honor and the privilege of being the leader of.
So what do these young men and women do? Like when you go out and do ministry, there's always different things for ministry. And I've had opportunity to serve here at the studio. We support a few different organizations by which they literally go to places where there becomes a question as to whether a young child might get food the next day. The simple things. I know you talk a lot about the stuff you guys are doing in Africa, dysentery. 500,000 people a year in Africa die because of clean drinking water through dysentery, which is not what I would think is a great way to go. But what is the things that you guys are doing in that ministry on the day in and day out for these 36 young men and women that are serving within your organization?
That is such a good question, because it really allows to highlight the impact, not only that they are making, but the impact that's being made in their lives. Because these 36 young men and women are gifted across the board in so many different areas. We have some that are in vocational ministry that are traveling and literally taking the gospel into their communities. Some of them are going into the villages and into the different areas that are really economically struggling. And they're meeting not only the spiritual need of a person, but they're also meeting tangible needs, like in what you just mentioned. So sometimes it might be bringing clothing, it might be bringing medicines. It's different things that they do. And then we also have catalysts that are music artists, musicians, gifted worship leaders. We have some that are in the medical field, some that are in the business field, some that are also authors or documentarians or photographers. So what we do then is we come alongside them in what their passion and their gifting is. We help to provide support, encouragement, mentorship. We even help to provide resources if they want to start a project in their village, in their city, in whatever realm that we can come alongside them to help create impact. We talk about impact in Black Fire Ministries because often the word influence is a temporary change. We want to be impactful so that it is a long term, and in our verbiage of being followers of Jesus, an eternal impact in the lives of those that we serve, which goes across from being here, maybe in the inner city of Minneapolis, we'll go in and we'll serve. Or maybe we even go into the villages of Ghana, the villages of Uganda. Wherever we go to serve, we go for the heart that says, how can we come alongside you, not only spiritually, but also tangibly?
So when people are watching this, you think about mission trips, right? You think about this like, oh my God, it's this giant thing. But like the thing with the clean water, right? It's a well. And it's like that big, right? And they can just they put it on the ground and drips drills down to get the clean water so that people don't die of different types of bacterial infections. If people are watching this, whether they're young men or women that are like, oh, let me go check that out, or maybe moms and dads, what's the thing that you'd like to leave the folks that are watching this for the first time that are just learning about your organization? Like, how can they participate?
Absolutely. There are multiple different ways. You can connect with us at blackfireministries.org to learn more about what we are doing and how we do it. You can also connect with us across all of our social media. I mean, you look on any of those platforms, we are there. We also have a very strong podcast in which we have recorded 6 seasons, which really gives an insight not only into the lives of these young men and women that are making positive changes, but it also gives an insight into those that have come alongside as mentors, as supporters, as encouragers into their lives. Because one of the things that we realize and we talk about often in Black Fire Ministries is that when we give God our yes, He does the rest. And also, we're not meant to do life alone. And the empowerment of the next generation is something that should always be on the forefront of our minds. Those of us are older, those of us that have had lived experiences, our next generation needs to hear the words, I see you, I'm with you all the way. God has a plan and a purpose for your life, no matter how they came into this world. That is the most important thing, because some people came into this world under different, really rough circumstances, but their life has value. And so getting involved with us, spreading the word of the awareness of what we're doing, getting more of these young men and young women from the African diaspora onto the mission field, because it's less than 1% of missionaries that are out there in the world are of African descent. And we want to make a change for that. We want to continue to hear the testimonies that we receive when we bring our teams to serve. Thanks for bringing a team that looks like us. Thank you for bringing a team that we can relate to. Thank you for bringing a team that our young people or even our leaders or our elders in the community can say, hey, if God can use this person, He can use me too. We all have value and we all have things that this world needs. And so those would be the ways that I would say, get involved with us, come and discover who we are, and let's talk.
Well, what we'll make sure to do, thank you so much for taking that time, and as we wrap this one up, right, people that are watching this going, wow, that's a great opportunity, but something that a lot of people don't understand, right? And we were talking a little bit offset. While my mother, it might not be as darkly complected as you are, mom's a few shades darker than I am, and I'm technically more diverse than most people that identify as diverse. But
Yeah.
of course, my dad being Scottish is where the pasty white guy comes from. But and to the economic circumstances and life circumstances, my mom and my mom's side of the family came to the United States literally with shirts on their back because of religious persecution, where if you prayed to the wrong God, or if you skin was the wrong color, you could die, and it was totally legal. And so what you're doing to help other people, regardless of where they come from in life, not just the folks that you have, the 36 men and women, but the people that you're serving. It gives them almost like a duality of hope, right? You give 36 young men and women, might have had some rough circumstances, the ability to impact other people, which gives them hope. And then the young man or woman that might be in a country that doesn't know where their next meal is coming from, you're giving them hope on a very basal level. So thank you so much for joining us today and talking about your passion. What we'll make sure to do is we'll put the Blackfire Ministries stuff on our website, which is thedailynewsnetwork.com. And, it was great spending time with you. But, without the people watching, right? Like, there's no reason for us to exist. So, people watching, if you like this episode, share the episode. Go check out Blackfire Ministries on our website, thedailynewsnetwork.com. Thanks so much for joining us today. And remember to always live with gratitude.